All right, guys, we are going to move on to the next section of your semester exam review. So we've already worked through sections 1, 2, and 3, which puts us on section 4, law of sines and law of cosines. So for this first question here, we are actually, let's do 18, and then we'll do some from the next page as well. So number 18 says that little a is 3. So if this is capital A, then little a is across from that. Then B is 6. So if this is big B, little b is 6. And then if little c is 4, here's big C, then little c goes across. Remember that for law of sines and law of cosines, you want to pick based on whether or not you have partners that are the same letter, capital and lowercase. So for number 18, I don't have any angles, then I cannot use law of sines. I need to use law of cosines. So whichever angle I want to start with, I want to choose the version of that equation that starts with that letter. So let's say that I want to find capital A first. Then I would use a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine A. You do not have to memorize any of these formulas. You'll have a formula chart for your exam. My a squared is going to be 3 squared. B squared is 6 squared plus 4 squared minus 2 times 6 times 4 cosine A. Okay, then if you remember in class, told you it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to work with our calculator doing 3 squared by itself. So 3 squared gives me 9. 6 squared plus 4 squared gives me 52. And then 2 times 6 times 4 gives me 48 cosine A. Then remember at this point, I hate having my equals 9 over here. So I'm going to scribble it out and move it over here to that side. We're trying to get that A by itself. So if I have a 52 here in the front, I'm going to minus 52 off both sides. So 9 minus 52 is going to give me negative 43. Okay, then to get rid of my negative 48, see how it's right in front like that? That makes it a coefficient. So to get rid of it, I'm going to divide the 48 across to the other side. So I have cosine A equals negative 43 over negative 48. Okay, then last step, we learned in this unit that to cross out cosine, we're going to use inverse cosine or cosine to the negative 1. Cosine and cosine inverse cross out, and I'll have A equals, put that into the calculator. So here we go. Second cosine, negative 43 over negative 48. And that gives us 26.3, so we'll just round that to 26 degrees. Okay, from here, 26 degrees. I'm going to go back to my triangle. And I'm looking for partners of the same letter. I need to know the upper and lower case of the same letter. So I see here that my capital A is a 26. My lowercase a is a 3. That means that I can now do law of sines for that. So let's review law of sines. You're going to do sine of the big, which is 26, over little, which is 3, equal to sine of the big, which I'm going to do, I guess, maybe C, over little c, which is 4. Okay, then from there, you're going to cross multiply. So 3 times the sine of C is going to be 3 sine C. And then sine 26 times 4, I'm just going to put that straight into the calculator. Sine 26 closed times 4 gives me 1.75. Divide that 3 out of the front on both sides. So the sine of C is equal to 1.75 over 3. Then from there, we are going to inverse sine on both sides. So these guys are going to cross out and I'll know what angle C is. Okay, remember for your exam, use the long decimal. So I'm not going to abbreviate to 1.75. I'm going to do that one divided by 3. And I get 35.7. We'll round that to 36 degrees. Now, if I know 2 angles, remember that means really I know all 3, because for my third angle, I can just do 180 minus the other 2. So I'll do 180 degrees minus 36 and then minus 26. And then whatever's left over has to be 118 up here. Okay. All right. So if you go ahead and turn the page, you're going to notice that you have a couple more questions that are pretty similar. Remember, law of sines is when you have partners of the same letter. Law of cosines is when you don't have that. So let's go ahead and turn to number 21. Okay, since you need pictures on this one, I'm going to go ahead and do this one with you instead of the previous page. So it says you have been assigned the job of measuring the height of a water tower. Climbing makes you dizzy, so you decide to do the job at ground level. From a point 47.3 meters from the base, the angle of elevation to the top of the tower is 53 degrees. So here's you. Here's the tower. It's a water tower. So there we go. Okay, it says that you're 47.3 meters from the base. So that would be this side right here. And then it says that the angle of elevation, that's how high up you're having to look, is 53 degrees. Okay, so first question that I would ask you is, do you have partners? So let's go ahead and label our triangle with ABC. So if I know big A, I don't know little a, sadly. I don't know little c or big C, but I know little b, but I don't know big B. So it's almost looking like we don't have enough information to solve this question. But then think about your water tower. If it's built straight up from the ground, that means that this angle here is actually 90. Okay, and so remember, anytime that you know 2 angles, automatically you know 3. 180 minus 90 and then minus 53. That'll tell us how many degrees go in this top corner. So minus the 53 and the 90 gives me 37 degrees left for the top of the tower, which would be here. And now that I look at my picture again, I'm looking to see, do I have partners of the same letter? And the answer now is yes. I know that my capital B or my angle is 37. And I know that my little b is 47. We are trying to find the height of the tower, which means that we are trying to find A. So we're ready to set up law of sines. Remember that law of sines is when you have your partners. So it'll be sine of 37 over 47.3 equals. And then I'll do sine of 53 over A. And then we're going to cross multiply. So sine 37 times A is going to be sine 37A. but 47.3 times sine 53 can go straight into the calculator. So sine 37, oops, sorry, wrong one. 47.3 times sine 53 gives me 37.77. Okay, then from there, I'm trying to get A by itself. And if I want A by itself, then I need to divide this sine 37 out of the front here. So then I have A equals 37.77 divided by sine of 37 gives me 62.7. 62 point, we'll round that 7.6, we'll go up to a 0.8. So that is how tall this tower would be. Okay. There is only one more question that does not have a picture in this section. So I'm going to set up the graph for you for number 23, but I am not going to solve it for you. So go to number 23. Says Jerry is flying two kites at the same time. He has 320 feet of line out on one kite, 390 feet on the other. He estimates the angle between the two lines to be 40 degrees. So here's Jerry. He has two kites. Say this is kite number one, this is kite number two. 320 feet of line out on the first kite, 390 feet out on the second kite. Then it says the angle between them is 40. Okay, then it says, what is the distance between the two kites? You would just connect these with a third side. And this is going to be the one that we're looking for. So I'm going to call that little c, that makes this big C. Okay, we'll go ahead and call this corner can be A, that makes this little a. And then this is going to be B, which makes this little b. Okay, then look at your information to determine, do I want law of sines with partners or law of cosines with no partners? So think about that for a second. Okay, I know little b and little a, but I don't know either of the bigs. And then I know big C, but I don't know little c. You're going to need to use law of cosines. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and give you the formula. You should have it in your notes, but remember, you always want to start with the letter that you're solving for. So in this case, it would be c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. And then you'll take this stuff, plug it in, and solve. All righty, very good job. Have a great day.